Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I'm down in downtown Chattanooga, and I'm going to go on a photo walk and take you guys along, and I've got something I want to talk about today. I'm just going to wander around town for a couple of hours and take some photos. Oh no, it still has the now open signs up. I thought they took them down. But yeah, we're open for business. I think I'll walk into the lobby too and see what the inside looks like. I'm kind of curious. So this is the inside. I talked to the guy at the front desk for a minute. He said their corporate office is over by 5 guys. And he said they set up a time-lapse camera and time-lapsed the entire construction process and then condensed it down into like a 3-minute time-lapse. And he says it's a really cool video. So I was not the first person to think of doing that with that show, with that establishment. I've always liked the geometry of this little area. The way they did the triangular corners on the slope, and it makes a set of stairs or bleachers, if you want to call them that, on this side. Yeah, this is all stepped down and you can sit on these bleachers. I've took a few photographs of people doing things here over the years. Like there was a couple blowing bubbles one time, and kids playing, and some just people hanging out and, you know, and just kind of relaxing. It's a neat place. Now right over there is where they do riverfront nights, and the stage is all gone now. It's another set of, you can barely see it in the video right through there. There's a set of stepped terraces that they use for seating in that area. That's where a lot of the music venues and stuff happen, down by the river. They do them right over there. But a lot of fishing happens right in this corner. Let's see if there's anybody over here today. No, I don't see anybody. They've added a floating dock for some reason. Normally there's somebody standing under the bridge right there fishing. There ain't nobody here at all. Huh. Well, school is back in, and usually it's kids. And I forget that now that I don't have kids in school. But yeah, there's quite a few bicyclists today. And those two probably make the 10th and 11th, or 11th and 12th bicyclists. This is Riverfront Parkway. Out that way a little further is a whole bunch of industrial sorts of things out towards, it becomes Amnicola Highway after you go so far out. And so that's why you see all of these heavy trucks coming down through here along with the cars. It used to be 2 lanes in each direction, and they've changed it over the years. They've slowly constricted it back. You know what I really like about Nikon cameras that use the battery style like these do? The battery life is so incredibly long. I think this is the 3rd photo walk with this camera before I've needed to charge it, and it's still over 50% charge. It's ridiculous. Well, I've stopped up here on Walnut Street in the shade of this apartment building behind me to chat with you for a minute about the camera I'm using now. I have kind of defaulted back to this CCD sensor, Nikon D200. It's got the battery grip on it, so it has extremely long battery life. Now, the ZF is no slouch. It has really good battery life. Their battery management is incredible. I run a 35mm DX lens on the D200, which equates out essentially to the same as the 50mm on my ZF. And it's not because I need something different. It's because the CCD sensor gives me straight out of camera JPEGs that I pretty much don't have to edit. It's like they're so close right out of camera, I can just use them. most of the photos in the Trenton vlog that came out recently, those were unedited, straight out of camera. I didn't even edit them in Caden Live. I just built the video with them and went with it. I really like the straight out of camera performance of this little camera. Its high ISO functionality is kind of crap, I'll be honest with you, but straight out of camera JPEGs are pretty nice. And here's a perfect example of stuff I like to photograph in the city. This angle iron, these two protective shields they've made out of angle iron and bolted onto the building. Today, it'd just be square cuts. They'd burn them off with a torch, hit the edges with a grinder to get rid of the slag, and they'd bolt them on and walk on with their day. Back then, they did decorative corner mortises. They did, you know, fillet cuts on the bottom. They did radiuses here and there. They gave it style. You know, you don't see that anymore. And it's kind of sad to see that's went away for strict utility at this point. I've always really liked Chandelier Alley. That's this alley right here that goes down to the, what do you call it, Shitty Thread Alley in the back. And they've always got some cool graffiti on this wall. So I posted up right there in front of that sign, that public parking sign across the street. And I just waited on people to walk by it to add some depth to the image, because this is a cool image by itself, but it adds so much more if you get a human in it. Like just somebody walking by on the sidewalk changes the whole dynamic of it. But yeah, I've always really been intrigued with this alley. It used to have a placard right there that told you what these little triangles are made out of. I don't know if they're CDs or something like that. They're little mirrors, and the sunlight comes in the spring. It shines down this alley in the morning as the sun comes up for about 2 or 3 months. It'll pass through here because of the angle, and these things will just light up all over the alley. I've got a video where I came down here one day in like May of one year and got it that morning, because you also got to get it when there ain't no clouds. But yeah, it's a cool little alley. Like I said, there's usually some real cool graffiti art on the wall down through there to give it some depth. This makes a good place for like senior portraits and things because of the wall painting, you know, with all that artwork. It just looks cool for senior portraiture. But you see what I was talking about the angle iron. See how it's just saw cut on both ends and it's just bolted to the wall, and there's nothing real interesting about it. It's just there. Okay, so there has been a significant development. I don't know if you noticed it yet or not, but see them 2 rows of windows right there? That was where the elevator was. The elevator's gone now, so now they're to the point of finishing out everything they need to do with the internal elevator that's built into the building. And they're working on the facade now and correcting all of the damage from over here where it was Daryl's Sandwich Shop on this side and Roan Regency Jeweler on the corner. And they put in like that 50s and 60s more modern looking facades. I got some old photos that shows that. I'll insert one in the video here so you can see what I'm talking about. But now they're actually fixing that. I see them over there actually mortaring it in. I told you I was going to tell you that I had something to talk about. Well, what I got to talk about is, what do you shoot when you've been to the same area many times? You know, for me, it's literally several hundred times to this same region, and you think you've seen it all and you've done it all, and you know, I lean into the new construction, and I've photographed the stuff that I think is going to be torn down, so I capture something before it's gone. That's one of the ways. You know, I roll them into the same. You got new construction coming out of the ground, which is something new that wasn't there. Something being torn down is something's there that's about to not be. I kind of count those as the same. So that's one. My other one that I lean into a lot is I take a lot of inspiration from a photographer named William Eggleston. If you haven't looked him up yet, look him up. I have 1 or 2 of his photo books. I don't buy many photo books, but I got The Democratic Forest by Eggleston, I know for sure, and I might have another one of his books. I'd have to check. But he has a really interesting life story. He started in Memphis, Tennessee, young, and as he told his mother, there's nothing interesting to photograph here. And she told him, photograph the boring. So that's why you see me photographing things like angle iron corner braces on buildings that's there to protect it from a truck rubbing against the corner of the bricks when it pulls into the alley. You know, and street signs and just whatever, a group of guys working on a construction site that, you know, it's completely mundane everyday life. Documenting it is a priceless, it's not even valuable, it's priceless to the historical documentation of the region. If you don't do it, who will? You know, that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And I go out many days with my Eggleston approach, is what I kind of pseudo call it at times. So if you don't know what to photograph the boring. You know, some people take you out to like photograph trash, you know, and I classify that as evidence of human activity without humans present. You know, you'll see people do that. They'll photograph like little buildings in the corner of a field or something. It's kind of the same vein, but it could mean anything. You're not like tied into just one or two subject matters of that. You can photograph literally anything, and it falls into the democratic forest idea. So with that, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'm going to turn you back over to the video at this point. So I hope you've had a good time wandering around the city with me. So I hope you've had a good time. Oh, come on, give me some decent lighting. No good lighting. I'm not this way. Well, I hope you've had a good time wandering around the city with me today. All the photos, like I said, were shot with the D200. Straight out of camera, no edits. So that way you don't have to worry about what I've done to make them usable. But you need to get out, get your camera out, and go take a picture with it. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.